Hey guys, welcome to video lesson 2.1. This is a textbook lesson on pages 54 and 55 in your book. You will not need your textbook today because all your given problems will be presented here for you. Today's expectations are that as each page is turned, you pause it, you try all the questions on your own first, and then you play the video to check and correct your answers. If you weren't able to do it, you're expected to copy the work into your notebook. So as we get started, please put your proper heading on the top of your page. So pause the video for as long as you need until you have your heading written. So for numbers 12 through 18 even, we're going to take these four problems, 12 to 18 evens, and convert them to decimals. So please pause the video here and try the questions on your own first. Okay, so for number 12, we have 1 over 11. So I'm going to take 1 and divide it by 11. So 11 can't go into 1, so I add a decimal and a 0. 11 goes into 10 0 times. So 0 times 11 is 0. And we get 10 left over. We add a 0 and bring down. 11 goes into 100 9 times. 9 times 11 is 99. We get 1 left over. Add a 0 and bring down. 11 goes into 10 0 times. Subtract, we get 10. Add a 0 and bring down. 11 goes into 109 times, and hopefully you're starting to see the pattern that it's 0909 that's going to repeat. Decimal goes straight up. So 1 over 11 is equal to 9 hundredths, repeating. If you need the work here to the right, please pause your video because I will be erasing this now. For number 14, what we're going to do is list the 40 times tables. So what I'm going to do is just list the first few. I know we're not going to need to go past 5. So 40 times 2 is 80. It's actually 4 times 2 is 8 and then add the 0. So 40 times 3 would be 4 times 3 is 12, add a 0. 40 times 4 is 160, and 40 times 5 is 200. So take a second and copy that down. That just helps the problem go a little faster. So we're just going to divide 17 by 40. So 40 can't go into 17, so I add a decimal and a 0. 40 goes into 170 4 times. So 4 times 40 is 160. There's 10 left over. Add a 0 and bring down. 40 goes into 102 times. That's 80. There's 20 left over. Add a 0 and bring down. 40 goes into 200 5 times. And we terminate, which means we end. This decimal doesn't keep repeating. So the solution to number 14 is negative 425 thousandths. Okay, I'm going to erase all this work to the right. Pause now if you need it. Okay, number 16. The negative 2, the integer part, is just going to get carried over. So here is negative 2 point something. So the first thing I'm going to do is write the 18 times tables for you. 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 2. So make sure you're copying these 18 facts down. Okay, 18 times 4 is 72. 18 times 5 is 90. 18 times 6 is 108. 18 times 7 is 126. 18 times 8 is 144, and 18 times 9 equals 162. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take 17 and divide it by 18. So 18 can't go into 17, so we add 0.0. 18 goes into 170 9 times. 9 times 18 is 162. There's 8 left over, so I'm going to add a 0 and bring down. 18 goes into 72 4 times. I'm sorry, 18 goes into 80 4 times, which is 72. There's 8 left over. So if you notice, if I add another 0 and bring down, we get 80 again, and we're going to repeat again. So my solution is going to be decimal straight up, -2 and 94 hundredths with the bar over the 4. Okay, if you need any of this work on the screen, please pause now because I will be deleting to make some room. Okay, and finally number 18. I'm going to give you the 22 times tables. So 22 times 1 is 22. 22 times 2 is 44. 22 times 3 is 66. 22 times 4 is 88. 22 times 5 equals 110. 22 times 6 equals 132. 22 times 7 equals 154. 22 times 8 equals 176. And 22 times 9 equals 198. Okay, this is a 1. So I see a whole number 8, so I'm going to take that integer and just bring it over, add my decimal, and now I'll scroll the screen back up at the end. I'm going to take 15 and divide that by 22. So since 22 can't go into 15, I add a decimal and a 0. So 22 goes into 150 6 times. So 6 times 15, I'm sorry, 6 times 22 is 132. There's 18 left over. Add a 0 and bring down. 22 goes into 180 8 times. So 8 times 22 is 176. There's 4 left over. Add a 0 and bring down. 22 goes into 40 1 time. That gives me 22 with 18 left over. Now, I'm not sure if you recognize this, but the pattern is going to repeat. I have 180 in here, and I'm going to get 180 over here. So 22 goes into 180 8 times, and that's going to give me 176 with 4 left over. So then that means the 40 is going to repeat. So the 8 and the 1 are going to keep repeating, but not the 6. Decimal point goes straight up. So I get an answer of 8.681 with a bar over the 81. So 8 and 681 thousandths. All right, I am going to stop the video here. You will watch the next parts in 3 or 4 separate videos.